Okay, here we are, dear diary. Today's my second day. The update was that Connor, from yesterday's diary, is that Connor is starting on Tuesday. He just needs to take his birth certificate, social security card, and a school ID with him. Super exciting for that. So today I wasn't having a good day. I have some liver issues and an ankle issue. So, I mean, I try to be up as much as I can, but today was one of those days. It's cold, it's rainy here in New York, and I pretty much stayed in bed most of the day. Just got out of the shower. I mean, it's 4 o'clock. I literally did nothing with my life, but I was looking at Facebook, and someone I know, a Facebook friend, had posted that they were talking about paranormal activity that they hadn't seen it. Here's his post. So this is the Facebook post that my friend had posted. I blocked out the name and the picture. Okay, so to all my friends and family, I'm a non-believer when it comes to paranormal activity. Does anyone have any truly haunted place I can witness these things for myself? Okay, so when I see things like that, it makes me think like, no, I don't know anywheres where anybody could see activity. I mean, you hear all the stories, like ghost stories, and oh, this is haunted. Anyways. And sometimes I feel bad for people who've never actually saw a haunt or have been part of something just unexplained. I have a few different stories, but one in particular paranormal experience I've had is what I guess I'm going to talk about today because I like literally did nothing. But it made me think about it, which I often think about once in a while. So when I was like 4, 5-ish, my grandmother was my primary caretaker. My dad worked. He was a single father. And my brother and I, we were raised that, if there's company in the house, we were very much in that era of children should not be seen, not be heard. So, if company came over, you stayed in your room playing. If you needed something, you could go ask. But if you didn't need anything, you just stayed in your room and played. It was, you know, more fun to just play in your room than it was to go sit in the kitchen and, watch the adults talk to their other adult friends. Nobody ever brought us anything good, like, grandma's best friend didn't bring us candy. So we didn't even really bother with it. But I remember many times when I was home with my grandmother, I would see somebody walk by my bedroom door. And as a little kid, like, to me, he was just wearing a blue shirt and blue pants. As I got older, I realized it was a tracksuit. Like, as a kid, I didn't understand what that was, but it was a tracksuit. And sometimes he would run by the room. Sometimes he'd just be casually walking, and he would, he'd walk by and he'd just do like the turn to look at me, and then like walk past the doorway. And we never really had our doors closed. My grandmother didn't think it was safe to close our doors, so they didn't really stay closed. One day I had asked my grandmother who the running man was at dinner, like, who's the running man? And she had no idea what I was talking about. And I told her that there was this old guy that just kept walking past my room, and I wanted to know what his name was. And she assured me she had no idea what I was talking about. So this went on for a while. I remember just constantly seeing him outside my bedroom door, and he looked solid. Like, he looked like a regular person. It didn't occur to me that it was anything other than a real person, that my grandmother was just not telling me who it was. So eventually I became like 11 or 12, and I stopped seeing it completely. Started spending time at friends' house and cousins, and visited cousins, and wasn't really home a lot. Probably I saw him again when I want to say I was like about 14, and I had to share a room with my sister because we were the only two girls, and it was quite an age difference. I was 14 and she was 3, and but that's what, you make your sacrifices for your family. Like I said in my previous video, like you do what you have to do for your family, and that's what you do. Sometimes my sister would get scared or upset in the night, and she would just come over and lay in bed with me, which was what our thing was. She would come over, she'd curl in, I'd cover her up, we'd go to sleep. I remember this one night, I was facing the wall and I felt her come to bed, but I flipped over to turn the blanket over her, because usually when she crawled into bed, she never got under the blanket. She'd always flop on top. I'd cover her up. And when I turned it, it wasn't her. It was the running man. But at this point, he was like more transparent. Like he looked like a ghost at that point. And I remember like my heart started pounding so hard. Like I could feel the bed shaking as my heart was pounding. And I just said to him, "You're not supposed to be here anymore." And he said, "I know." I turned back over to the wall, pulled the blanket over my head, and just laid there until I fell asleep. But the bed was just shaking from my heartbeat. Just, I could tell, like boom, boom, boom. Then I did not see the running man again until I was about 21, and I was a nanny. And I'd pick the kids up one day from school, and the little one wanted to go swimming. So, we got our bathing suits on, and we were getting ready to go out into the pool. And she was complaining that she wanted this very specific floaty. And I looked all around the pool for it. I couldn't find it. And there was this huge, like poolside bin. And I figured I'd check there and see if it was in there. And I told her, like, "Hey, stay right here. I'm going to look for your floaty." And I'm short. I'm 5'4". So, and this tub came up to like here on me. So I had to like go over into the bin to get to the bottom of it. And all of a sudden in my ear, he screamed, "The girl." I mean, I didn't see the running man, but I heard him. I knew his voice. And he yelled, "The girl." Like as loud in my ear. It was so loud. Like he was in. I could hear the echo inside of the bucket that I was, the bin that I was like inside of. And I remember just getting chills, and I jumped up out of the bin, and I looked, and just as I looked, she had fell into the pool. And I ran, jumped in, pulled her out. She was fine. She just went in. She was a swimmer. She went swimming. She knew how to swim. She was 4, but she knew how to get herself back up. But it was rare that she was in the deep side of the pool without some sort of flotation device. I grabbed her, pulled her out, made sure she was okay. She was fine. We ended up still going swimming that day. So it wasn't anything too frightening for her. But I remember for me, it was the scariest feeling that the running man had came back. To help me out on that one. I mean, there's been times, and I haven't seen him since. He went away when I was 21, but that last time I saw him was that day, or heard him was that day. And, there's been times in my adult life and in my own parenting life that something bad has happened to my kids. And I reflect, like, why didn't the running man come and help me? Like, why didn't he tell me that my son was behind a lawnmower? Or why didn't he tell me that my son Connor had gotten bit by a tick and nobody knew about it. He was really sick. I mean, he was in the hospital and everything. And, you know, and I just felt like, you know, why wasn't he there for me anymore? But, so I guess that's my thought for my Dear Diary today is, it made me think about it with that friend and his quest to find a haunt. And I hope that if it's something that he truly wants to experience, I hope he gets to experience. I do have other stories, other paranormal stories. I will post up on my Dear Diaries again at some point. Other than that, I'll see you tomorrow.